This man is a genius. He spent $2,000 on what most people would have called junk lumber. Then he hauled that wood into his humble backyard workshop armed with nothing but an old hand saw. He began shaping each plane. He followed the grain with each cut, letting the curves guide him. He sliced the wood into layers, offsetting each piece slightly. Then came the glue. Layer after layer, binding them one by one. He tightened each section with ropes, stacking around by round. When it came to the tabletop, he got even more precise. The outermost ring was built like old clock gears, interlocked, notched to perfection. He pre-drew every groove on a blueprint, leaving zero guesswork. A wooden mallet helped him tap each piece, and tight but not forced. Next, he inserted thin strips of wood into pre-cut slots. Each one of the pieces was cut into pieces of wood, and then he cut them into pieces of wood. One interlaced into a geometric grid, tight and even. It took him 2 whole days just to ensure the pattern didn't misalign by even a hair. Once the grid was done, he pulled out some diamond-shaped redwood tiles. Piece by piece, he pressed them in like laying mosaic tile. Using a small hammer, he tapped each tile firmly into place. Even he was stunned by how it turned out like a giant flower or a vintage abacus. The overlapping lines were dizzyingly beautiful. He built everything from the design he pictured in his mind. After finishing the tabletop, he stepped on a foot-powered bandsaw. He carved a flowing wave along the edge, and sawdust flew like sea spray. The wavy border looked like a ripple crashing against the shore. He sanded the edges by hand until they were silky smooth, running your fingers along. It felt like touching glass, flawless and clean. He said he wanted this table to feel so good that no one would dare cover it with a tablecloth. Next came the finished nose spray tools. Just an old school brush. The first coat of varnish brought the wood grain to life like magic. It looked like rain. Soapstone, each annual ring standing out clearly. He let it dry, then applied 2 more coats, with gentle sanding between each one. Nobody rushed him. This was art, not assembly line furniture. He wanted the surface to look brand new but feel like a cherished heirloom. Once the table was finally finished, he didn't rush to move it. He left it right there in his room to soak in the moment. A friend dropped by and gasped, "Wait, this is made from that scrap wood from the other day?" The man didn't reply. He just smiled and poured 2 cups of tea. He gently set them on the table. They didn't wobble. The surface didn't even ripple. The tea. "So what do you think? How much would you pay for this handmade table? And out of 100, what are you going to pay for this handmade table? And out of 100, what score would you give it?"